What's up, guys? Team Stamp West. I'm here with my dude Alex. Alex, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Awesome. And we are going to do a little season recap tonight. And we got our man, the Chanimal, also known as Chandler Fry. What's up?
I go by only Chanimal now.
Only Chanimal.
Yeah.
Duly noted. Nice. Well, so we kind of want to take a look back at your 2019 season. So let's go all the way back to January, beginning of the year. Coming off of a sponsorship change, you got a whole new bag. What are some expectations that you kind of set for yourself at the beginning of this year?
My goal the beginning of this year was just to kind of go out there and see what it was all about. Go meet all the players, meet all the TDs, and just see if I fit into the culture, the community. And obviously I wanted to play well, but I understood that I had a new bag, new discs, new game to learn. But with Discraft, all the discs are pretty consistent,
Yeah.
And it was a pretty easy transfer over from Latitude 64 to Discraft. So I didn't really think too much about that. I had all the tools. I just wanted to go out there and see what it was all about and see if I can compete. And I kind of did. It worked out somewhat.
Yeah. And this was your first full year running along with the whole tour, right?
Yep, absolutely. Last year I went on about a 2.5-month trip with Nate towards the end of the disc golf touring season. But this is the first year that I really committed to doing the full year. And I learned that, I knew it was going to be tough, but I learned that it was really tough as far as just all the driving, all the different logistics you have to handle as far as lodging, finances. The practice is hard to get all the practice rounds I wanted to get in. And just, it's life on the road is a little different than 9-to-5 job for sure.
Yeah. I think everybody kind of imagines that you're just living in this lush RV and playing some fun disc golf. But
I was in the VW Beetle, so that was being in the RV for the second half of the season was definitely more lush, I guess you can say, than being in a little coupe.
So talking about the start of the season, you started out on the West Coast, and you're pretty much familiar with that area. And then you were kind of settling into your bag, and then you came into the Utah Open, that's where you kind of had your first big finish, right? So what do you remember about that tournament? What was that experience like?
I remember a lot of stress, mostly, because it was one of my goals at the beginning of the year to be on Jomez. It was one of my goals last year, but I only got on CCDG, which is still awesome. No insult to CCDG. But knowing that I was going to be on Jomez for the second round, I was just like, I got to play well. I got to do my thing. And also I was playing with Ricky. So that was also super terrifying because he's a friend, but he's also one of the best competitors this sports has ever seen. So I wanted to make it fun. And he didn't play very well, but I ended up beating him by a stroke or two, which felt good. But I think I shot like a 10-30. But I remember during the round, just like, whenever I had a big putt, I was just like, slow miss, let's get that slow miss, a follow flight. So it was definitely a different ball game. It's harder. I think I play a little better under stress, but it's definitely harder to focus when you have like 3 cameras on you. But those guys are professionals, they're legends. So it's honestly, when you see them behind the basket, like it looks like they're supposed to be. Like they're not. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it was a
cool experience.
Yeah, no, that's just one of those things where as the sport grows, we're growing with it, and like you're out there and saying that you want to be on Jonas Coverage is awesome. And I think even for you to like go out and say I want to do that even had an impact. You had the confidence just to walk out and be like, I want to play well and I'm going to do this. I'm going to get there. Yeah. So it's so cool to.
Sometimes you don't play well, but sometimes you do. So that's nice.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah. Is there some added stress when those guys are behind the camera on those putts? Or like you said, they kind of blend in, but you sort of know they're there, right?
I think for me, my will to get a slow mez was so strong. Like I wanted him to be there. Like even if it was like a 100-foot putt, I was just like, let's go, dude, get behind that basket. Cause I just wanted it to happen so bad. I think I got 1 or 2 that round. So I felt pretty good about it. So,
yeah.
That's awesome.
I even got a follow flight. Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you had a really great stretch kind of middle of the season. You cashed at 15 tournaments in a row,
Yeah.
which, for your first time being full-time touring is a really solid stretch through the middle of the season to kind of propel you into the back half of the season. So we'll jump over to my tournament, CCR Open, where you also found yourself on some Jonas coverage.
Yeah, second round again.
Yeah, second round again. Played a good first round. Got on there. Cashed for, it looks like $520.
Not bad. Not a bad weekend's work.
Not bad. And then I think another $250 from the skins match.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the skins match. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was probably that was one of my best moments on tour. I feel like, even though it wasn't like a PGA sanctioned round, that one putt I had in that skins match, that was pretty cool. How far was that? Like 50 feet uphill?
It was probably farther than that. It was probably 60, 70 feet uphill.
And as I was running up the hill, I looked at Paul and Garrett to the side and I was pointing at them. I was like, yeah, watch out.
Yeah. and then you intimidated them into missing their putts.
Exactly. And I got that skin. There we go.
Nice.
Very intimidating.
Yeah, we have some big things in store for CCR Open. A little bit of a shameless plug for CCR Open, but we got some big things in store next year. Maybe being a little bit more of a part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour trail. So I had to plug that one. It was fun to get to hang out with you at that tournament. I think it's going to be another good tournament next year where we're going to have some great guys like yourself, some big names that are there. And are these like off the road A tiers a little bit more casual feeling for you guys than the big Disc Golf Pro Tour events?
I think for me, they are a little more casual. I kind of think I should approach them as the exact same as if it was a major NT. I tend to kind of relax a little bit too much and focus on fun over competition. Yeah. But I think, I tend to do that a little bit too much, but it's better to just approach every tournament round the exact same with a will to win. Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I got to say, CCR Open was one of the best round, not just because you're right there, but not just because we're talking, but it's like the course was fantastic, well manicured. The OB was obvious. It was very well run. You had a lot of volunteers out there. The spotters were good. I just had a great time. Besides the weather, it was way too hot, and I was sweating way too much. But you can't do anything. So
yeah, well, we should have the Woods course in play next year, which will bring a little bit of a different challenge from the Open course, a real nice wombo combo to test the top player skills. So we're hoping it doesn't flood next year. It only floods every like 5 years, so we'll be good next year.
He says as he jinxes it.
Yeah. No, I don't want to jinx it.
So talking about tough weather, tough situations sometimes come up like that, and you kind of had a little bit of that towards the end of the season with an injury. I think it was your elbow, right? Can you talk a little bit about that experience? You're on tour full time, right? And you have an injury. What's that feel like? And it was kind of and especially like right around World's time, and what were you learning?
Yeah, I don't have very good health insurance, which is the first thing. I think a lot of professional disc golfers kind of feel the same way about that. I think one of the major moves that sponsors can make in the future for the elite level players is offering them a health insurance option. I think that would go a long way for them and the company for as far as like longevity with the team and everything. Mm-hmm. But it's tough having an injury, not being able to play, especially like on that stretch. It was Vermont, Massachusetts, and Prince Edward Island, which are my like 3 favorite courses in the world. And I went to every single one of those, and I caddied, I vended for Discraft, but I wasn't able to play, and it was somewhat soul crushing, honestly. And my hopes were that I would stop being injured at some point, because it was tennis elbow. It wasn't like a severe injury. It was just overuse, and my ligaments were a little pulled. So I was hoping to get better, but I tried to play in Massachusetts, didn't feel good, and so I headed home after that, because if you're not playing, there's not really a point in being on the road. But it was actually the last of a bunch of different injuries I had throughout the year, most preventable, but some of them completely random. But it's not fun, but I tried to last it for as long as I could. So.
Do you think there's anything to, we saw like Seppo Payu talk about throwing lefty backhands and really working in the left side of his body with lefty backhands in tandem with the righty backhands. Do you think we might start seeing some of that from the top pros at all?
I think there's definitely a potential to see like some top level players who throw both right and left. Right now, it's kind of one or the other. I'm trying to think of any. There's some local players in Washington who are incredibly accurate with their left and right hands. Definitely less power with their offhand. But I don't think that would be a bad thing. It would just give the person more tools, more angles to throw.
Yeah,
I tried a couple days after I injured my right elbow. I tried to go out to do all lefty round, and I was sore. So, like the first time I used any of the muscles over here really for anything but just writing or reading or something. So.
Yeah, I think the tour was it was a long tour. It seems to be getting a little bit longer every year, starting earlier, going later, and it seemed like there was just everybody in the top like 50 at some point had some type of injury this season, whether it was just a sprained finger or if it was more serious broken hand, tennis elbow. But it seems pretty grueling out there.
Yeah, I think disc golf, people seem to think that's somewhat of a sedentary sport, but honestly, there's a lot of torque going on, a lot of pull, a lot of muscle movement going on. It's easy to pull something, break something. Like I've had friends break their ankles on tee pads, and especially driving off hard surfaces and everything is hard on the knees, hard on the joints. And that's why I think Disc Golf Strong, Seth Muncie and Disc Golf Strong is so essential right now for the top level athletes in the sport, because we need to start acting like professional athletes, not just professional disc golfers. You know, that's what I'm really trying to do this off season, because I've been a professional disc golfer for 14, 13 years, but I've never truly been a professional athlete. So I'm really starting to try to do exercise, get proper nutrition going on, because my diet was terrible on the road, because it's easy just to go to a gas station, get a burrito.
Yeah.
Get a Diet Coke. But now that I'm home, I'm more settled. I'm able to really focus on my diet, see what I can do, see what I can cut out, and also do my exercises every day.
Nice. I forgot. Usually we do a giveaway middle of our interviews here, which I totally forgot to write into our script. So we'll throw it in right now. I got this sweet TI Challenger, which is an awesome throwing putter, a nice black stamp, and it's got the gold hollow on the back. And since we're talking about injury prevention, let's go ahead and plug that. Shout out to Disc Golf Strong again. They're doing great things, just like you said, for the pros and really everybody in disc golf. So comment one thing you're doing in the off season to better yourself for the 2020 season. And I'll come through and pick out a comment, and we'll give this thing away.
Love it.
So kind of as we look forward to 2020, you've had this full year to reflect that you've been on the road the whole year. What are some goals, aside from bettering yourself, that you have for your 2020 season?
My goal, I'm going to play all the Disc Golf Pro Tour tournaments this next year. So I'm definitely going to try to get in the top 10 there and be able to get a bye into the championship finale. I'm definitely going to focus more on my mental game. I tend to get pretty upset pretty easily. I miss a putt and I'm out for 3 holes, but I want to just be able to just move on. And I'm working with a few people. I'm going to try to get some lessons from our team captain, Eula Berry, because I feel like he's one of the most confident people I've ever met. And not in a bad way. Like, he just exudes confidence, and I want to kind of get some of that. I'm working with Nate Sexton, who lives in my hometown, which is fantastic, and Kyle Crabtree. So I'm kind of going towards the 10-30 and above guys to try to learn as much as possible, because I'm 10-18 right now, which is fine, which is good. But I definitely can be better, and I want to learn. So I think for my main goal for this next year is to not get injured. That's my main thing. And avoid dogs for the most part. I think I told you about that. But avoid dogs at awards ceremonies and not get injured. That's my main goal. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So along with that, for next year, you said you want to hit all the DGPTs. You want to get that by. Are you looking to do as much of the full swings? Because I know things are kind of packaged together across different coasts. Are you going for the whole thing, or are you gonna kind of sit some of that tour out?
Yeah, I'm kind of still in the process of formulating my full schedule, but I'm definitely going to put the priority on Disc Golf Pro Tour, because I think that's where most of the future in disc golf is. Because I think Jeff Spring and Disc Golf Pro Tour have a fantastic vision, and I think Steve Dodge, every time I can, for him laying it out, So I think I'm going to invest most of my time in that and hit up all the A tiers like CCR Open, and if the majors and NTs fit into my schedule, then I'll go to that. But I enjoy the DGPT.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So here we are at the end, and we'd like to give essentially the floor is yours. Thank whoever you want, and let people know how they can support you, and just have at it, man.
Cool. Well, I want to shout out some new sponsors I have other than Discraft. Obviously, thank you, Discraft. You guys have made me feel like a family member more than any other sponsor. You guys have been, not you guys, but Discraft has gone above and beyond what I thought sponsors did for their players for me, so I really appreciate them. And also Wander Disc Golf. I'm working with them for some potential new ideas for next year, possible hat, possible disc run. Whale Sack, I'm on Team Whale Sack, so I'll have a personalized Chanimal Whale Sack coming out pretty soon. I'm still working on the design. And then for all my fans out there, I'm actually going to start doing a Facebook shop with Chanimal discs and Chanimal apparel. Nice. So I'll be shouting that out pretty soon. It's going to happen in the next probably 2 weeks. So, but also I want to thank my family for supporting me through all of this. They've been my rock, mostly my mom and dad. They're always there to talk, always there to help me out. And also, Alex Russell is the man. If it wasn't for him, I would have been off the tour in Texas. Because that's when I had the dog attack and my car blew up. And the dude was right there beside me the entire time, helping me out, keeping me calm. And he's a fellow Washington boy, so I really appreciate him being there and keeping me sane during that whole time. So, Alex Russell.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing you at CCR Open. I know both Alex and I look forward to following your adventure in 2020 across the Pro Tours. I think the only thing left is what is the most important thing.
Make that putt.
You watch more awesome videos? We know you do. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, turn on that notification bell so that you're notified every time we post new videos here at Underground Interview.